What's up, y'all? Let me make sure I'm live on everything and we can get started. Hope y'all are having a blessed afternoon. Really, it's more towards the evening, right? So we're going to have a little bit of class. Today, we're going to talk about shooting your shots in life, okay? Is this good to go? All right, cool. I'm good. So today, we're going to be talking about shooting your shot in life, okay? I'm going to talk about this from multiple perspectives. I'm going to talk about this based on the women that you want to talk to. I'm going to talk about this based on the opportunities that you want to receive, that you want to step into. Talk about this with that business you want to start. Everything in your life, right? What you don't want to be doing is sitting on the couch when opportunity comes knocking, which is where most people are. Okay? So shooting your shot, the power of taking advantage of opportunities. All right. So introduction, the window that won't stay open forever. One moment of boldness can shift the trajectory of your life, but only if you take it. Okay, so there was a man who stood outside a closed door for years waiting for someone to open it. One day he finally knocked, but no one was on the other side anymore. That's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is opportunities don't wait. Life rewards the bold, not the hesitant. Okay, but it's also deeper than that. In today's world, not shooting your shot is a form of self-sabotage. We can look at this from multiple dimensions. If you want that job and you don't apply for it, you don't talk to the recruiter, you don't let it be known to whoever's doing the hiring at your job that you want this promotion, you can't get it. You see this beautiful woman and you want to talk to her. If you don't speak to her, you can't have her. Ladies, even if you see a beautiful man, if you want to speak to him and you do not speak to him, you cannot have him, right? We live in a world where you do not receive what you do not try to get, what you don't try to approach, okay? And let's look at this from multi-dimensions, okay? Because truly, as the creators and as the magnets for things in our life, we don't have to move per se. We don't always have to be on the front lines per se. But we have to be actively researching what we want. We have to be actively doing things in our life, right? If you want that perfect person, you can't just sit in the room. Sit in the room, watching Netflix. You at least got to get on a dating app. You at least have to leave the house. You at least have to take some kind of action to get the things you want, okay? So, number one, part one, what does shooting your shot really mean? Okay, so it's not just about DMing your crush. It's about betting on yourself. Okay, it's about speaking up in rooms where you feel underqualified. It's about launching that business that you've been procrastinating on. It's about pitching your ideas in the meeting, even though you feel a little nervous and hesitant about it, right? It's about asking for what you know you deserve. A raise, promotion, whatever the case may be, right? So it's about taking bold action in the face of uncertainty, trusting that even if you fail, you'll gain more than staying still, moving before you're ready. Most people are more scared of rejection than they are of staying stagnant. You want these new opportunities because you want to change your life, but you're too scared to actually step into the unknown and possibly face rejection, which we all know there is an illusion. Rejection is always illusion. It's just redirection. It's going to be a lesson. It's going to be redirection to what you want. But you're in this stagnant position. You don't like where you are. And instead of you actually making a risk, taking a risk, speaking to somebody that you think is attractive, asking for a job, asking for a promotion, asking for a raise, applying for new jobs, learning that new skill, instead of actually doing that, you feel the rejection. You fear the rejection of the task over being stagnant, right? And maybe this is a mindset shift that you have to make to say, all right, well, what would be worse? Me being in the same place that I'm in right now in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, or this person telling me no right now? Which one would be more difficult? Which one would I not? Which one would be more uncomfortable for me? Maybe that's how you should think and then move accordingly from there, okay? So shooting your shot is moving in alignment with bold faith and decisive action, okay? So why most people miss their shot? Number one is going to be fear of rejection. Most people fear hearing no more than they fear staying. Okay, so what I just said, right? Most people fear hearing no more than they fear staying stagnant. But a no is better than never knowing. You tell me no, okay, I can regroup. All right, let's say that you want some business funding. Sure, you go to a bank or you go to, some other business, some other brand, and you ask them for some funding or for a collaboration, whatever the case may be. The only thing that they can do is tell you yes or no. Sure, you can think about all the rude ways they could tell you no. You could focus on that. But really all you're going to get is you're going to get a yes or you're going to get a lesson. So anytime that you hear no, it's just an opportunity for me to revisit my game, revisit my delivery, revisit my pitch, revisit the criteria that I was bringing, and then move forward. Right? Think of life the same way you think of approaching a woman, man. Right? If she tells you no, it's not the end of the world. But if you never approach her, you'll never know. Right? If you see a woman that you want to approach, if you never approach her, you never know. She could say no, she could laugh, she could do whatever. But I'd rather take the certainty. I'd rather take the certainty of knowing versus just sitting in that unknown and not knowing, right? And so one of the keys to this in anything, right, is you want to reduce the time from thought to action, right? You want to do things in a healthy and respectful way, of course, right? But we can talk about anything. We can talk about an idea you have. Oh, I want to create this app. I want to create this business. I want to ask for this promotion, ask for this raise. When you have that thought, you want to start moving down the path of getting there before all of those insecurities start creeping up. Because this is just human nature, right? You see a woman, and you're like, damn, she's attractive. You want to immediately, in a respectful and safe way, right? She got some man on her arm. You don't want to do that, right? But you want to cut down the time from thought to action. You have an idea to start a business, to start learning a new skill. You don't want to sit on it and say, oh, I'm going to learn tomorrow. I'm going to do it the next day. I'm going to do it the next day. Pretty soon, a month's passed, you're still in the same spot. Who knows what would have happened if you had just started working over that month, right? You're throwing away time. You're not getting any younger. None of us are, right? These divine insights that you have are in your mind for a reason. Because last week, you were just thinking about the life that you wanted to provide for your mom. Now, all of a sudden, you have this divine idea of what you can do for her. Take action. Right? These things aren't coincidental. The Most High doesn't work in coincidences. The Most High doesn't place chaos in your life. The Most High always places synchronicities. That idea you have is for a reason. It's purposeful. Right? You have these desires, these things you want to make manifest in your life. You have all these ideas that you're sitting on. Right? The longer you sit on them, the more comfortable you get with sitting on them. You get used to sitting on ideas the longer you sit on them. Reduce that time from idea to action. All right, number 2, overthinking. Analysis paralysis kills more dreams than failure ever will. Right? Somebody who has to have the perfect plan. Please define what the perfect plan is. Right? We want to get to a point where I have this business I want to launch and I want everything to be predictable. Because really, when we think of a perfect plan, we just mean, okay, I want to be able to predict everything. You never will. You can't even predict everything that's going to happen in the next 15 minutes of your life. You can't predict who's going to text you, who's going to call you. You can't predict what's going to happen. There's nothing predictable about life. Right? So you have to be the one that says, you know what? I'm just going to start moving, and I know that my plan is just a vehicle for God's will. My plan is just a vehicle for the universe to flow through. That's it. Nothing more. It's my desire that matters. The Most High knows my desires, gave me this thing, this idea to do it. The plan doesn't matter. You make the best plan that you can. You know that your plan is going to get torn up. You know you're going to get slapped around down that path. You know you'll be redirected. People will say there'll be certain times you're stuck. You don't know what to do. You just keep moving forward on the plan. You do the best you can, and boom, all of a sudden, you are where you want to be. But this requires you to move. Man, so many dreams of all of us. have died in the planning phase? How many ideas have you had that have died in planning from anything, right? So you come up with hey, bro, we should take a trip together. How many trips do you try to plan that die in the planning phase? Oh, I'm going to learn this new skill. Let me write down, I'm going to get on this YouTube video, and that new skill dies in the planning phase. Right? Planning is good to an extent, though, right? Over planning. So if you get to a point where you're doing more planning than acting, all right, sure, you can sit and make the most beautiful plan, right? Maybe I have more experience with this because I was in project management and program management for a while, and I was in tech, right? There's no such thing as a perfect plan. Your plan will be obliterated the moment that you start it. Okay? So we can build this plan, but how can we actually put actionable steps and start taking action as quickly as possible? Once we can do that, now we're on the path to the things that we want. But if we just sit and we're just planning, we're getting all the dopamine. It feels good to talk about all the things you're going to see when you and your boys in the DR. It feels good to talk about it. But let's put a date down. Let's put a deposit date down. Let's talk about when the first deposit date is going to be, how much it's going to be, and then let's start actually making actionable steps. You have this business idea, right? Let's do actionable steps. Form that LLC, man. Don't cost that much. I don't remember. It's been a while since I formed one. I was going to give a direct price, but what kind of while you are planning, can you actually put actionable steps in your plan to keep you moving forward? Because momentum's always going to be your friend, right? We see this in the gym. We see this with dealing with women. We see this in every area of your life, right? If you get up and you start working out day after day after day after day, eventually you create momentum. The same way that you can create momentum from movement, you can create momentum from stagnation, right? An object at rest tends to want to stay at rest. An object in motion tends to want to stay in motion, and it gains speed, right? It's going to gain speed, velocity, mass, all of these things, right? These are just laws of physics. The same thing applies to energy, right? This is what your thought is. This is what your action is. It is all energy. Right? So you can think of it the same way that you think of the laws of physics. Right? If I have an idea and I sit on it, the longer I sit on it, the longer it wants to sit there. The less chance that I have to move forward. But when I start moving, and I'm every day, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, right? Now I get into the rhythm. I start doing it. It's no different than posting content, right? You start posting content every single day, you get in the rhythm. You're just like, okay, I just got to do this. I got it. This is what I do now. Right? The moment you stop, a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, it becomes much more difficult to keep it going. Think of anything in your life. Think of anything in your life. All right? So many people make New Year's resolutions, right? But they can't push past the point to keep that momentum going. So they end up stopping. And then once they end up stopping for a day, they might get back on. 2 days, it's a little bit more difficult to get back on. 3 days, it's damn near impossible to get back on, right? Because now you're at rest. You want to stay at rest. Okay, cool. Number 3, low self-worth. If you don't believe you deserve it, you'll never reach for it. Okay, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Self-worth, how important self-worth is. As human beings, we're conditioned to attach our self-worth to external things. Children run up to their parents and say, "Mommy, does this look good on me? How does this picture look?" Right? Kids in school run up to the teacher. They want to get a reader of the year, or a good job, or they want to get a check mark on their report card, or whatever the case may be. We tie our sense of self-worth to our grades. Then in the corporate environment, we get job titles, right? We're always attaching our self-worth to things. And then most of us make very bad decisions when it comes to relationships as well. So we're running around with people in these relationships and we're tying our self-worth to if they can validate us. And if that relationship goes poorly and that person begins pulling away, okay? And then we are trying to bribe them to love us again, trying to pour more love into the situation to get them to see us. What it can do is it can really erode our sense of self-worth. So you have all of these pitfalls in life that are meant to erode your sense of self-worth. And so, of course, it's no wonder why a lot of people don't truly pursue the things that they want. They sit on ideas so long because their sense of self-worth is low because of how the world has conditioned them to be. We have to be the creator, the consciousness to pull our mind out of the program. We have to be the ones to look at ourselves and say, no, I am worthy. No, I can do this. No, I'm not going to sit on this idea, right? Because while the world can break our self-worth and tear it down, you can easily build your self-worth up by the way that you speak to yourself, but also by the little things that you do every day. What you'll really start to learn is that creating a plan is not even about sticking to the plan. Hear me out, okay? When you have a plan and you say, I'm going to do something for 30 days, I want you the next time that you commit to that, every single day, make a check mark. If I did the thing, I get a check. If I didn't, I get an X. And on the days I have X's, I want you to write out what kept you from doing those things. What kept you from keeping your commitment? And whatever kept you from keeping your commitment, make an actionable plan to resolve that. Okay, if I had done this, I would have actually made that commitment. What you'll see is that you'll start to build more structure in your life. You begin to feel like you're in control of your life. And this will give you power. This gives you confidence because you see that you are the creator. So even if I don't stick to the plan, I come out better. So even if I make a plan to do something for 30 days, most people think if I only do 20, I fail. I don't take it that way. I say you went up against your mind 30 days, 20 days you won, 10 days you learned something about yourself. So now your life is even structured differently. So now the next challenge you have a different baseline now, right? Maybe if you don't want to drink, maybe if you want to work out every day for 30 days, you realize that, one of the days I missed my workout, I went drinking last night. And it was a Tuesday. And I was home by 12:30, but I woke up a little bit late. I said, you know what, I'm going to go work out at the end of the day. Instead of doing that, right, I got tied up in other work. Nothing wrong with this per se. But if I didn't think on a more conscious level, I would just be like, damn, I failed. Right? Fuck. Maybe I'll try the 30 days over. No. Say, look, I went out drinking. The reason I didn't work out is I went out drinking. I got up too late. Then my day got busy. Okay, I'm going to have days that get busy. Maybe on a weekday or the days that I'm going to work out early, I need to be at home by a certain time. Or I need to limit my drink intake. I need to be in bed. So all of a sudden you start baselining your life. This gives you power over your life. This builds your sense of self-worth. And this makes it much easier for you to start taking on new tasks because you know that every new task equals expansion. Every new task equals a new level for you. You start to really be the creator. The truth is that everything that you need is within you. Some of the things that y'all are fiending for, some of the things that you want in your life, the only thing keeping you from that thing is your sense of self-worth. And once you start to implement little practices in your day-to-day life that start to increase that sense of self-worth, you're going to see that a lot of your desires start drawing to you like a magnet. They become as obsessed with you as you have been with them. And it's all on the other side of some kind of raising of your self-concept. And you can do this easily. You can do this with affirmations. You can do it with the practical steps that I was just talking about. All right? You're starting to master your day, building that self-confidence up, man. Okay? So, and then, all right, the next one, number 4, why most people miss their shot, don't even take their damn shot, is because they're waiting for the perfect time. It's like, oh, bro, I'm not going to release this till it's perfect. Because I need people to know that it's perfect. Because what is perfect? What is perfect? Even if you go to the largest company right now, right? If you go to Apple, Amazon, right? They have problems every day that they're solving. They roll shit out and they patch their software. They have production issues. They have all kinds of issues in their processes. Right? So you please tell me what perfection is. Perfection is you actually living in the best version of yourself and stepping into these moments and opportunities like the divine being that you are. And not sitting here overthinking, I don't even want to say overthinking, sitting here and being all plan and no action. Okay? So the truth is there is no perfect time. You are the perfection that inserts itself into whatever time you step in. There's no perfect time to start anything. The perfect time is you. Because time doesn't really exist anyway. It is your consciousness that impacts time. Your consciousness is what puts its imprint on time. But time is relative to you. If you think it's going to take, this is why if you think something's going to take you all day to do, it's going to take you all day. But if you say, damn, I got to finish this in an hour. All right, some of you think it'll take all day to clean your house. But if, one of them ones hit you up right now and said, hey, Dwayne, I want to come over and see you. I'm on your side of town. You should be clean in 15 minutes. Right? Time is relative to your energy. It's your consciousness. Okay? So there is no perfect time. You make the decision, I'm going to start something, you start it. Right? And then the door rarely swings wide open. Sometimes you got to kick that motherfucker down. Right? It's the elevator analogy. Okay, sometimes the elevator opens. Somebody hits you up, the elevator is open. Right? There's an opportunity that presents itself to you. Okay? The elevator moves when it's time to move. It doesn't move when you're ready. All right? So you don't want to be on the couch when opportunity knocks. Yes, we talk about divine timing. All right? Now I want y'all to have an open mind with this. Divine timing works how you believe it works. Okay? If I'm always minimizing time from thought to action, I don't have to worry about divine timing. Everything is divine timing. The moment I get a thought is divine timing. The moment I start to execute is divine timing. The moment somebody tells me no is divine timing. It's all divine timing, right? I want to minimize the divine timing of the Most High putting a thought in my head to the divine timing of me picking my lazy ass up and starting to do the shit, right? We're going to start collapsing this divine timing, right? It's all divine timing. Everything is divine. Every moment, every second is divine timing. I woke up and took a breath. That was divine timing. All right. However, it will not matter how many times an opportunity presents itself to you if you don't feel like you're ready because you haven't been doing shit. Right? Some of you want that job in that new skill, but if you went out today because you got an intuitive feeling, oh, I'm going to go to this network event, and you met someone who could give you that job, but you had done no work to try to get ready on the skill set. You don't even know the language. You're going to say, damn. I missed it. That's okay. Well, if it's for you, it's for you. Sure, you're right. If it's for you, it's for you. All right? But that could have been for you. That could have been your divine timing as well. If you had stepped into the opportunity the moment it presented itself to you in your mind. All right? Some of you are sitting on thoughts. You're sitting on content. You recorded some shit. You looked at it. You said, man, I don't look so good. I don't want to post this. I can't tell you, most of the videos that I had that go viral, it's not even, they're the ones that I look at like, I'll just post this shit. All right? You would be surprised. Right? You would be surprised how the Most High flows in your life when you stop thinking about perfectionism and you start thinking about the improvement that you're going to receive on the path, on the journey. When you stop thinking that you can't stutter over any words, you can't stumble, you have to be perfect, you have to look a certain way. dress a certain way, speak a certain way, present yourself a certain way. Right? Everything has to look and be presented a certain way, or else the world won't accept it. And shit, the world gonna talk about you irrespective. Regardless of what you do, people gonna talk about you. People gonna fuck with you. Some people will not. You know, that's the name of the game. No matter what business that you start, some people are gonna look at it and say, bro, that shit sucks. Terrible idea. And some people are gonna love it. Are you trying to please everybody? Are you trying to please the entire world? Right? Or do you understand what your idea is? Somebody out there needs to be inspired by you. Somebody out there needs the product that the Most High put in your mind. Somebody out there needs to hear the story of what you went through. Somebody out there needs your wisdom. And you're denying the world because you feel insecure, because you're procrastinating, because you're lazy. All right? And then we blame things on divine timing. See, we don't speak about divine timing and what it really is. On one hand, everybody will be like, oh, time's not real. And the next thing they'll be like, oh, well, I can't miss it if it's for me. You didn't even prepare yourself for it. Of course it wasn't for you. Well, it'll come back around. When it comes back around the next time, are you going to prepare yourself for it? You know, sometimes your soul attracts things to teach you a lesson. These missed opportunities, this is a divine lesson that you need to learn. I wasn't ready because I didn't do the work. Instead of thinking, oh, if it's for me, it's for me. Why don't you think, damn, this is probably my soul telling me to tighten up. This could have been a great opportunity for me, right? It more than likely, it will come back around. Right? So either this was an opportunity to wake me up and say, boy, get your ass to work, brother. Because it's going to come back around soon. Are you going to be ready? Right? Or you're just going to say, oh, I guess it wasn't for me. It's divine timing, yada, yada. And then just move on about your life and completely forget. Not even take the lesson. Right? A lot of people will use spirituality as a crutch to step into laziness. Oh, I don't have to do shit. You got to do something. You have to at least do something. These ideas that come into your mind, they don't come into your mind for no reason. You have to do some kind of movement. You have to do some kind of affirming. You have to do some kind of meditating. You have to do some kind of work. You have to get out and talk to people, man. If you want this divine counterpart, the work that you're going to be doing is the work on yourself. Looking back at past relationships, doing the studying, right? Expanding your consciousness, going out and meeting people. Where you gonna find this person? Right? They're not gonna knock on your door. You ain't ordering nothing. They ain't knocking on your door. You just sitting in the crib all day. Right? You have to do something, and you doing whatever you do, you are implementing. You are putting the stamp of your consciousness of the God within you on time. Right? So the moment you start moving, boom, divine timing. It is directly attached to your movement. Right? Don't use spirituality as a crutch. Right? You are the creator. You are the creator. Oh, advice on living with an ex. Damn, goddess. You know what's interesting? I had met a woman about a year ago that I would have taken very seriously, but it turned out that she was living with her ex. I'm like, damn. I mean, I would ask more pointed and difficult questions because, hold up. All right, I would ask more pointed and difficult questions because I don't want to judge any situation off of a surface level understanding of it. But are y'all trying to work it out? Or not? Is it because of a child, right? Are you in a place where you're actively trying to move out? Is this going to be a long-term thing, right? What is the purpose or the intent of y'all still being together? Is it because one of you can't be without the other person, right? Well, at what point is it not the other person's responsibility for that to go down like that anymore? Right. That could I mean, because when we talk about divine timing, that's something else, man. You could find, let's say that you do find a man that you really want, really admire, right? However, the moment that you tell him, "Hey, I'm with my ex," I want you to think about how that would come off. Trying to work it out, weren't technically together, and he broke loyalty, so now we're at a standstill. At least it's an open until. My judgment on it is I have none. I say I like to be in or out of things, okay? So if somebody breaks loyalty, let me talk to you, God. It's like like the sister that you are, all right? If someone breaks loyalty, I have to look at it from a bunch of different perspectives. But the main thing that I have to do is I have to say, all right, how did it happen? Can I get over it? Do I want to stay? Okay? If I don't want to stay because I cannot get over it, even if they're sorry, even if they'll never do it again, right? And I cannot get over it, then, I'm going to have to move on. Since you're in that lease situation, if you want to move on, you are going to have to ride it out. Do you not have anyone else that you could stay with, that you could, be around until then? I would ask those questions, because living with someone that you're no longer with, I don't see it as healthy. I'm trying to stay open-minded with these answers. That's why I'm speaking a little bit slower. I don't see that it would be a healthy thing, right? But I also don't believe in coincidences. So whatever transpired, I'm assuming that it transpired recently. You have April, May, June, July, 4 months, 30, 60, 90, 120 days. A lot can change in 120 days. So I have no judgments. It's going to be a soul-searching 120 days for you. This is going to be a time where you're going to be able to expand a lot. Y'all will either be able to heal things in 120 days, or you'll go the opposite. But either way, you should look at this time as a time for growth. It really wouldn't be the ideal time for you to be dealing with anybody else, because if you do that and you're bringing other energies into that house, not saying that you're physically bringing them into the house, but if you're going out and you're dealing with other men and then their energy is still on you, around you, in you, and you bring it to the home, that could add unwanted and unneeded issues. All right. So it's gonna be a time of expansion for you. It's gonna be a divine time for you, man. But just make the decision. Do you really want to stay? Do you want to leave? If you're absolutely cool with leaving, then start that healing process right now. And it's really an ideal place to be in. If I look at it from a bunch of different perspectives, last little ramble that I'm gonna do on the side note, right, is if I look at it from different perspectives, because it limits what you can really do outside of the home, most people struggle and they stumble through their healing because they try to deal with other people too quickly. And so sometimes our soul puts us in situations where we need to be alone, right? And it seems like this is a forced situation of being alone, right? I don't know how your sleeping situation is and all that, but that's as pointed as I'll get with that, because I don't know everything. But there's no coincidences. Y'all will get through it. You will get through it. You will get through it. He will get through it. You will both be better, no matter what unfolds. But appreciate that question. All right, so waiting for perfect time. Why most people miss and don't shoot their shot. Let me put it. Why most people don't shoot their shot. All right. And then waiting for the perfect time. So the 4 things that we outlined, why people don't shoot their damn shot. Number 1 is fear of rejection, which is crazy, right? You would rather stay the same in the position that you don't like with the thing that you want, or with not having the thing that you want, versus it just telling you no, and then you would have to regroup and then just go to the next one, right? Rejection is not the end of the world. Okay? Number 2 is overthinking, analysis paralysis. A lot of dreams die in the planning phase. Group trips die in the planning phase. You deciding to go walk up to that woman across the room that looks beautiful, right? That idea dies in the planning phase, right? Starting that business, it dies in the planning phase, right? Low self-worth. We talked about this from a bunch of different perspectives, right? The world tries to push us into having low self-worth. Most people are programmed to have low self-worth. Can you actually pull yourself out of the programming long enough to start building your self-worth? And then I add the practical steps that we talked about earlier, right? So not making it about achieving every single goal, but knowing that if I set up 30 days to do something and every day that I miss it, I have to go in and say, okay, why did I not hit that goal? And what can I actually change to make it easier to hit my goal the next day? What habits can I remove? What habits can I add to my life, right? This is going to be more powerful than even hitting 30 days straight. 30 days of working out, that'll be great. But even if you went 20, and in those 10 days that you missed, you learned how to measure, okay, I missed the workout because of this, and this is what I'm going to do better to avoid that situation again. Now you become more powerful. Your self-worth starts to increase, right? And as a byproduct, the things that you want start to move towards you. And then waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. You are the perfect time, right? You are the consciousness that makes whatever you do perfect. The idea popped in your head at the perfect time. The moment you started is the perfect time, okay? The moment that you missed the opportunity, that is divine timing. The moment that you started and nothing's happening, you are in divine timing. The moment that it manifests, it's all divine timing. Everything is a lesson, all right? Everything is a lesson, everything is a blessing, everything is in alignment. So examples, you hear a job opening before it's posted, right? Send your resume. Okay. If she catches your eye, shoot your shot. And then if you're doing content, right, a trending topic aligns with your skills. Create content around it today. The moment you see it, just create it. Okay. So practical tip, train your mind to ask yourself every day, what shot could I take today that would move me forward? What could I do today that would just move me forward just a little bit? Okay, even if you don't have a lot of moves on the chessboard, right? There's always a next best move. There's always a best thing that I can do in this moment, right? Never late, never ever lost. Nothing ever lost. Absolutely, absolutely. So there's always a best thing that I can do in this moment. Should I just go and watch that YouTube video? Should I pick up that book that I've been procrastinating on and read it? All right? That woman that you like 2 of her pictures, she likes 1 of yours, you like 3 of hers, right? Go on and DM her. Get it over with. Figure out if she actually likes you or she just wants the dopamine hits from your likes, right? Figure it out. Go ahead and shoot your shot. All right? So, number 3, the formula, how to shoot your shot with strategy. Okay, so number 1, identify the opportunity. Stay alert. Every day is a chance, right? God doesn't always shout. Sometimes he whispers. Okay. Number 2, prepare with intent. When preparation meets opportunity, that is success. So know your stuff. Train in silence so you can execute in public. You want to be in an opportunity where you want to be in a position where if the opportunity shows up, you're ready, right? I'll give the same example over again. If I decide that I want to learn a new skill, because I want to change my career path. And then I go to some networking event for that new career path. I haven't done any work on it yet, but I just decided to go. I had an intuitive nudge to go, and I meet someone there that could give me a job, but I don't speak the language. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I did not allow the divine timing to be made manifest. Right? So this is a wake-up call. The divine timing of this event is saying, look, when you get ideas, work on them, because you have no idea what ways I will open for you, the weapons that I will implement for you, the things and the doors and the people that I will bring into your life, right? You have no idea. You don't know when. So the moment that you get these ideas to do stuff, start them, right? So we always have these divine timing moments, right? The divine timing of my preparation, my lack of preparation met something that it's telling me that, damn, I should have prepared. This is divine timing. This is a lesson, beautiful lesson. Be ready the next time. Or the divine timing of my preparation actually meeting the opportunity. And this is the situation that you want to constantly be in. You constantly want to be in the situation where, all right, I can cut down time from thought to action, from the divine insight to action. And then when the opportunity presents itself, I'm ready. Okay. You want to be ready. Cool. And so then number 3, act swift and confidently. Confidence is magnetic. Even if you don't have all the answers, the universe responds to your motion, or the universe responds to movement, to momentum, right? And just by moving, you gain momentum. Okay? You will have, and I'll talk about this from a dating perspective because it's something that we can all probably relate to, right? You could have 2 completely different results approaching the same woman in 2 different ways. A confident approach versus an unconfident approach can get 2 completely different responses from her. Can put you in 2 different realms of her mind. Okay. So you do want to have confidence. You'd be surprised at how your confidence impacts reality and how it draws different versions of people into your reality, right? The unconfident version of you draws one version of that woman into your reality. The more confident version of you draws a completely different version of that woman into your reality, right? Because we are switching realities, all the time. Okay? The confident version of you at work pulls different people in your reality, right? The confident version of you online is going to pull different people in your reality. You're going to pull more people that love you. You're going to pull more people that hate you as well. Either way, it's going to help you get paid. All right? The more confident version of you is more magnetic. It's more polarizing, too. All right? It repels things that are not for you as well. Easier, right? So you don't have to teeter the fence. You don't have to play the fence. You can be authentic. You can be who you want to be. You can say the things that you want. Right? You can say the jokes that you want to say. You can be yourself. Okay? And now number 4, detach from the outcome. Whether it works or not, you win. And this is really what I want to drill in y'all's heads about taking these shots, shooting these shots, is that it's not about making them. It's just about taking them. Because every time that I step into a new opportunity, a new version of myself, I try to do something new, I am downloading information from the universe. Right? Whether somebody tells me no, okay, now I have more information on how I can move next time. I have more information on how my plan needs to unfold. Okay, this door is closed in my plan. I need to take a different route. All right, they gave me feedback and said this wasn't up to par. Okay, I need to work on that. Right? Every time you get feedback from the universe, take it as a download. We tend to think of downloads as things that just appear in our mind, those mystical moments where all of a sudden you can remember the emotions that you had in these 2 past lives, and all of a sudden the information associated with that download is in your mind. Shoot, if somebody tells you no, that's a download of information as well. They're giving you more insight on who you are. Right? Take this all as divine. Take this all as beautiful. Okay? So boldness is a muscle. Success is where preparation and opportunity meet. That was Bobby. And then you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. Okay? If I'm always trying to be ready for the things that I want, then I don't really have to worry about those things passing me up. Okay? And those, so examples, if you want to speak at events, practice speaking daily, even if it's to yourself, right? If you want to be a better speaker for your content, all right, read a book out loud to yourself, okay? If you want to go viral, study trends, shoot content consistently, be consistent. If you want to pitch your business ideas, memorize your pitch so you can say it whenever, okay? And so practical tips, make ready your default mode, create a preparation routine. So 30 minutes of daily skill building, just 30 minutes a day, if you're locked in on something that you wanted, you would be amazed at how far you would be in a year, 6 months, right? Stay updated in your industry. If you're working in the corporate environment, if you're doing content, right? Stay updated on what people are talking about, right? Understand trends, things like that. And then keep a pitch deck or a resume always ready. Whether you're in a job or not, update your resume. You never know when that recruiter's gonna fall in your inbox with a job that sounds good to you. And instead of just shooting your resume right over and being one of the first people, right, you wait, you're the 40th, 50th, and by the time they get to yours, there's fatigue. There's fatigue. Okay. So number 4, the hidden cost of not shooting. All right, you don't just lose the opportunity, you lose momentum. And you lose the ability to learn from that situation. Okay, you start shrinking your dreams to fit your fear. Oh, it's okay. Divine timing is not for me. Okay, I just, maybe that one wasn't for me. Maybe I just need to be here a little bit longer because there's something I need to get here. Perhaps, right? Regret is more painful than failure. So hell on earth would be to meet the man you could have been. Okay, a real nigga said that. And then indecision is the thief of opportunity. Okay? So some examples, Issa Rae, we all know her, right? Or if you don't, she's a very, very famous producer, show writer, produced her own show, Insecure, I believe, okay? So she built her own web series because Hollywood wasn't given an opportunity, and now she runs her own shows, right? And you can also look all through YouTube and see creators who just started with their phone. Okay, and now they have millions, tens of millions of followers, okay? So practical tip, use the 5-second rule. Mel Robbins actually created this rule. So when you get an idea or feel the urge to act, count down from 5 and then move. Don't wait, right? So if I have some kind of divine insight, like I'm saying, you want to reduce the time from thought to action as much as possible. You want to collapse this time and start actually moving towards the things that you want, okay? And then detach from the outcome. So take the shot, whether it lands or not, you're still in motion. All right. So examples. All right, so life is never linear, okay? We do stuff, we get better at it, and then we continue to go down that path and we get rewarded later on. So you shoot your shot at a job, you send out a job. How many jobs do you typically have to apply for before you get one? Right, it's typically a lot, okay? You post a video and it flops and the next one goes viral, all right? So if you just focus on what you're doing right now, right, and you don't think of the long-term consistency of some of your actions, you could be, pulled to quit too soon before things really have the opportunity to take off for you and give you the life that's in line with your desires. You have these desires for a reason. And so you were given these ideas. You were given these ideas so you can start moving on them, okay? So what are you gonna do? And then you get rejected, but someone watching says, I like them, right? This is even an interesting thing about relationships, right? When people say, well, if they do wrong, I'm gonna do wrong. I say people are always watching you. People are always watching you. So if I'm a dude and I'm in a relationship and that woman's not acting right, and then I just start fucking off, people see that. If you're a woman and you're in a relationship, the dude's not doing right by you, then all of a sudden you just start fucking off, people are watching you, right? So, your character still is holding weight, whether that situation is bad or not. People aren't just gonna look in and say, from the outside in and say, you know what? She's acting like that because that situation's bad, I'll give her a pass. No, people are watching. All right, so you never know where the next opportunity is going to be. So hold yourself like the person that you want to be. Hold yourself like the person that you want to be. Okay? So, practical tip. Start tracking actions and not outcomes. So instead of how many wins this week, ask yourself, how many shots did I take? Okay? The things that I saw that I wanted, that job that I saw, did you apply to it? Right? That woman that you saw, did you shoot at her? All right? That piece of content that, resonated with you that you scrolled by, did you spin off your own topic on it? Okay? How many times do you take the shots when they're presented to you? Okay. If you just count the wins, you will start avoiding and not facing all the times that you've missed out on opportunities to actually start or actually step into a risk. Okay, step into a new opportunity. Let's put it like that. All right. So the wins come, man. The wins come, but you want to see, okay, when this opportunity presented itself to me, my bad, it's been a long day. Can I step into that opportunity? If I don't, then why not? Is it because I wasn't ready? I wasn't prepared? I wasn't doing my studying? I wasn't on top of my shit, right? I knew I wanted to get this new job in this new industry, but I didn't do any studying. So when I saw the job, I felt underqualified, so I couldn't even apply for it, right? What is the reason? Okay, the reason is the lesson. The reason is the download. The reason is the consciousness expanding information that you can take from this situation and get better. Okay, so fail fast and learn faster. All right, so real world examples. Now look, we're not finna go through all these. My bad, y'all. All right, I'm not gonna go through all these, but what I will say about the real world examples, right, is that you just never know until you know. You never know which opportunity is going to pay off. You never know when that preparation is going to meet an opportunity. So prepare like every day you're going to have an opportunity. Start looking for opportunities in life, man. A lot of you want new careers and you're getting emails from recruiters. Maybe you don't feel like you're worthy or not. Why not? Is it because you haven't been doing any kind of work? If you've been doing some kind of work, even if you haven't, is it because that fear is keeping you from just submitting your resume? Or is it because you haven't updated your resume even though you want something different? Right? That woman that you've been eyeing, what's keeping you from talking to her? Right? Is it the self-doubt? Right? The trip that you want to take, the things that you want to do, the skills that you want to start learning, that the Most High has placed in your mind. Why haven't you started going down the path of learning them? What is your excuse? Right? And how many opportunities could you miss because you're sitting in your excuses instead of just preparing like you might receive an opportunity tomorrow, right? So even this, when we talk about social media, right? You might not get any views. Just keep on being consistent. Keep on posting. Keep on trying. You never know when your opportunity will be. Okay? And a lot of times, the likes, the comments, the follows isn't even a direct correlation to money, to how much you're making off of your content. Right? The opportunities that it opens, even outside of just producing the content, right? Shoot your shot. Right? A woman could be your soulmate. A man could be your soulmate, right? And that could be the best relationship for you. Shoot your shot. That job could be the best thing that happens to you, man. Shoot your shot. Right? You don't know what kind of doors it could open. Even if you don't get it, that recruiter could be somebody that you make a connection with, and all of a sudden they help you get something that's even better, right? Later on, you might start your own company, and then you bring them on to be your recruiter. You just never know how divinely life outpictures itself, right? So don't get in the habit of using spirituality to make excuses for laziness, right? Yeah, we can say, it's divine. If it was divine time, it was meant to be. But if you know that that's just an excuse because you haven't done any kind of preparation and this opportunity showed up and you weren't ready, right, then the divine timing is not that, oh, it's going to come back around. The divine timing is that this is the Most High giving you a lesson, telling you to get on your pivot, man. All right? Cool. So the conclusion, all right? Boldness is a skill that you develop through repetition. You are not too early. You are not too late. You are right on time. Every single time, if you move, you create your divine timing, okay? Speak up, apply, start, build, launch, call, pitch, post, shoot your shot because time won't shoot it for you, okay? The divine timing is you. You are the divine timing. You are the divine consciousness that implements itself on whatever time you choose. It's all divine timing. Okay, every rejection, every missed opportunity is all divine timing. Okay? It's either telling you that your preparation is working, or it's telling you, hey, keep going. Tighten up. Okay? So if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? Right? So build a shoot your shot challenge for yourself, right? Make one bold action a day. Track it, reflect every Sunday, right? Small risk equal bigger confidence, which also equates to life-changing momentum, right? Your energy, your actions, your actions are energy, okay? When you put these things in motion, they want to keep moving. They want to keep moving. When you stop, an object at rest wants to stay at rest. You tend to want to stay at rest, man. If you work out every day in the gym, you start building momentum, consistency over time, right? But when you stop, then all of a sudden, you want to stay stagnant, okay? Cool. All right, so as always, man, this document will be on YouTube. I think I've already shared it to YouTube, so it should be there. So y'all can download it and do whatever with it, comment on it, all that. But we'll do a quick Q&A tonight, and then end it with prayer per usual. So any questions, anything else that y'all want to talk about? Shit, feel I'm blind, nigga. Why am I single? Because I love women. I had a good run at love, but you know, I already told y'all, man. I had a good run at love, but the woman that I was with, she passed away. And so, ever since then, I haven't really wanted anything serious. I just really recently started dating seriously, maybe a couple of years ago, again. But shoot, I like variety. I like the variety pack. But you know, if I find the right woman, if I find something nice, I will sit my ass down. But I'm for sure not pushing it or forcing the issue. Divine connection and want to have all flavors. Yeah, but I also feel that you can have a divine connection without a relationship. Now, there are things. The 500K guy, what's that mean? Is that another slang thing? Man A versus man B. What? Man, look, I don't know what none of that means. Today's been a divine day. All right, y'all. Hey, kidding. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? My daughter done jumped in the wrong line. But hey, kidding. Is that slang too? Y'all on something else tonight. Yeah, we about to pray and wrap this one up. All right, y'all. We about to pray and wrap this one up. I don't know what you said. All you said was man A versus B, and then something about 500K. I don't know what that means. Unless you said the comment that got filtered out. Which one am I with? Man A or man B? Who is man A and man B, man? What's the difference? I made it. Oh, the side dude or the... Is that what you're talking about? The side dude or the friend zone guy or the side dude? I don't know, man. I got a lot of women that are in my friend zone. But that naturally happens with a lot of relationships that I'm in. So it turns into more of a guide, more of a teacher-student relationship. No. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all's time today, man. Your boy is tired, but hopefully this helps. The moral of this was just, life's gonna give you an abundance of opportunities, but our human mind does tend to get pulled towards the things that we believe that we missed. And then there are lots of things out there that are saying, all right, well, if it's the right time and it can't miss me. That's true in a sense, but you still want to be prepared whenever an opportunity shows up. Okay, when the right man shows up in your life, you want to feel like you've been doing the work to actually handle that good relationship, right? The right woman, the same thing. Okay, the right job, you want to feel like you're prepared to actually step in it, right? Whatever opportunity comes, right? All of a sudden you've been building this business and you want to constantly keep trying to scale and scale and scale. So when you finally do get that big influx of orders, you have been doing the work to handle that. Okay. So, everything is divine. Everything is either teaching you a lesson or it's coming to you in the perfect timing. Right? So let's go ahead and get a little prayer in, right? All right. Heavenly Father, thank you for every divine and beautiful desire that you place in our mind. Thank you for every idea that you make manifest within us. Give us the strength to continue to pull these ideas out of our mind and implement them and place them into reality. Right? Because we know that all of our desires are in alignment with all the skills that you give to us. Right? And everything that you want us to try is pulling us into a better version of ourselves that's more in alignment with the things that we want. All right, I pray for anyone that's going through heartbreak, that is going through pain, that you provide them with the peace that only you can provide. And I pray that you constantly remind all of us that the love that we are looking for in the external world is always within us. Okay? Cool. All right, y'all. I see you all as beautiful, as divine, perfect, whole, prosperous, the gods and goddesses that you are. If you don't feel that way, it's cool because I see you as that way anyway. So I know it must be true. All right. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful evening. All right. Stay blessed. Stay divine. All right. And until next time. All right. Talk to y'all soon.